Boom. What's good, everyone? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today on The Open Table, me and Adelia will go through our favorite TV shows of all time. One classic, one current.
One childhood.
Yes, one classic, one childhood, one current. Stay tuned and join us as we look through the magic box. And we are back, everyone. It is week 2 of The Open Table this time around. And like we said in the cold open, we are talking TV shows. Me, as a frequent peruser of television, I love it. Dang, we should have had Snark on here.
Snark said he'd be in the chat, most likely. So.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Snark, hell yeah. Snark, a resident TV guy, a TV guru. One of our TV gurus, the other TV guru is right here. Shout out to
you guys watch a lot of TV.
Watch a lot of TV. There's so much TV to watch, like literally so much TV to watch. But Adelia, how are you? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good, Ferris. I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm chilling. I like how with the time change, breaking my fast is an hour later, so it doesn't happen because the first week it happened at the beginning of the show. Like 10 minutes in, and then now it's gonna be at 7, like 15 minutes in is 7, so we'll probably be done by an hour, so which is good. I can then go eat afterwards.
Yeah,
so I'm a little happy. Yeah, shout out to all my Muslims out there observing Ramadan. I appreciate you, love you guys, hope you guys are okay. And if you're sick or a diabetic, don't do it.
Yeah,
very bad for your health. But
diabetic, very good to eat and keep your blood sugar up. I've been learning that recently. Yeah, because I am diabetic. So I also want to say that it was really good to see in a soccer match this weekend, they paused for a moment to let the Muslim players, once it was time to break their fast, have a little food on the sideline.
They made that a directive last year in the Premier League. It's been a directive in the French league because there's a lot of Muslims in the French league.
Yeah,
a lot of the French black guys are Muslim. A lot of them. A lot of and then across Germany has a bunch of them. So there's some of them do that as well. So the Premier League has done that, has kind of done the directive. What happened back in the day was someone would fake an injury. Yeah. Like my knee, and then just fall over. And then like someone would like chug a water bottle. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? And then they'd be like, okay, I'm good. Like, oh, okay, you're good. I was like, I'm good.
It's just a matter of like players' health that they need to do this for. Like, it's ridiculous that it wasn't the directive the whole time.
Well, no, let's call spade a spade. We don't want to talk fully about sports, but we kind of aren't, which is kind of cool. Which is what I love about sports, because it's actually bigger than it's fun. There wasn't a lot of Muslims in the EPL.
But I mean, just as a directive down from FIFA, it should have been from the very beginning.
Yeah. But FIFA.
But it is FIFA. Yeah. There's that fantastic documentary. Is it Netflix that the FIFA Uncovered documentary is on? I don't remember. It's just wild, the shit that FIFA does. So.
Yeah, that documentary really, if all of it or most of it was true, what I got from it, that was a great TV miniseries. Yeah. What I got from it is the initial anger of Qatar getting the World Cup was rooted in racism, and then people then were justified in their anger with the way they built their stadiums afterwards. Yeah. But the initial anger and the initial America investigating them was they were mad that they lost to this Gulf country, because they weren't mad when Russia took their 2018. They weren't mad about that.
I mean, they were, but they weren't as publicly mad about that.
Yeah, they weren't. Yeah. They didn't. Russia getting it didn't spark the investigation. Yeah. Qatar getting it. But what I got from it was Qatar played the game FIFA already laid out for the past 50 years, and Qatar won the game. And they're mad that they lost. America and England mostly America, because they decided to send everybody to jail for it. It's like,
Yeah.
how dare you? You know, but yeah, that's what I got from it was people told you how to get the World Cup. And the Qatar people were like, "Oh, this is how you get the World Cup? Okay, we'll do it." And they did it. And don't get mad that they played your game and beat you.
Yeah.
But you know, it is anger. There's valid reasons to be angry at them.
There's very valid reasons to be
There's
angry.
very valid reasons at them. But some people hid their racism and they weren't being genuine. But some were. Somewhere. Yeah. But TV, Adelia.
TV. I was trying to bring it to TV with the documentary series.
Yes. It's great. I love documentary series.
I love documentary series.
Yeah.
I didn't put any on my list tonight, but I could have made an entire list just of documentary series.
That would have been on my series. The FIFA one? That would have been on my list.
FIFA one would have been on there, yeah.
Most documentaries are usually movies. You know, it's been a rise with series where they kind of break up the subject's life into each episode. I think David Beckham has one on Netflix.
The Beckham one, yeah.
Yeah. I reviewed it on my radio show a couple years back. I didn't review the last episode because.
Hey Shug, how's it going tonight?
Hey Shug, how are you, man? How you doing? Hope everything's well. I couldn't finish the episode because I lost my Netflix power and I couldn't watch the last episode. That happens. Yeah. But yeah, that series was kind of cool. It showed a lot of the intricacies of him and the biggest thing of the documentary really was like, who cares about his relationship with Victoria or his actual father? Like that's not the relationship we cared about.
It was the one with Sir Alex.
Yeah. So showed a lot where, you know, Sir Alex, you know, kind of had a directive where it was, he always changed the team to keep it fresh. The only people he kept long term were kind of like his robots.
We're getting into the sports stuff now.
All right. No, you're right. You're right about that. All right. But great
thank you for the compliment, Shug.
Yeah, I do love your hair. It's a great hair. Yeah,
thank you.
Nice.
It's really long at the moment. I usually have it shorter than this.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you do. It kind of only touches your shoulders, but now it's kind of going past your shoulders.
Yeah, it's pretty long at the moment.
Yeah.
Down to like here.
I've never had that problem of long hair.
No.
Never had it. You know, my older brother and my first little brother, they had like their long hair phase. My brother had like long, slick back curls, and they curled, and you know all the ladies loved it. You know what I mean? You know, Mr. Big Pimpin' over there, and then and me, I'm always like, give me the taper fade, sir. And then my little brother had a massive afro, Adelia. It kind of like it popped out, but then he kind of like molded it into kind of like a leaning Tower of Pisa type thing.
Oh, God.
It was big. It was massive, and he loved it. But my dad was like, get what is that? And so then like he forced the barber to cut it, and like now we all do taper fades.
Yeah.
Me, I was the first one, Adelia.
You were the first. You were the first.
Yeah.
I am currently seeing how long I can let my hair grow out before I just go nuts and chop it all off.
Yeah. I did experiment one year, Adelia. I had a high top.
Oh my God. Yeah, I can't imagine.
So yeah, it was a bit of a high top. It was like, it was like kid and play type thing. But it wasn't like connected.
I need photographic evidence of this, by the way.
There's a photo out there somewhere where like it's a little high top. It's like a little.
Yeah,
that.
I get it.
I swear. Yeah. I preferred to go. I've shaved it off. Like I've gone bald. I look good bald because I wanted to test it out because I was seeing my dad go bald, and I was like, how am I gonna look bald? Because if I look good bald, I'm chilling. I don't gotta be scared of losing my hair.
Yeah.
I look good bald. You know what I mean? Like I'm chilling because I have the beard.
Well, I will say that the one time that really freaked me out was when you shaved the beard.
Yeah.
I'm not used to that. I get more freaked out when guys lose the beard than when they change their hairstyle.
I had a mustache once.
Well, you kind of have one now.
No, I did it like it was just the mustache.
Just the mustache?
Yeah.
No.
I agree. You remember the day you saw me without nothing on my hair?
Yeah.
I was in Fresno when I shaved it off, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like I had a beard, I had a mustache, and it was a day where I was messing. We went out and we got ice cream, and I had a mustache, and I was just chilling with my mustache, and no.
Just no.
No.
You're not a mustache guy.
Yeah,
You're a beard guy.
I'm a beard guy. I'm a beard guy, man. You know who has a great beard?
Who?
Rodney.
Rodney has a great beard.
Phenomenal beard. You want to know who also has who also has a great beard, Adelia?
Who?
No, who has a great mustache actually?
Who?
Carl Winslow from Family Matters. Adelia.
He does.
Let's start off the show with our honorable mentions. Let's start with your honorable mentions right away. We are here to talk.
Brandy is correct. Justin has a great beard too.
I don't care.
Ferris, that's mean.
Whatever. Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow. Family Matters is one of my honorable mentions tonight. Loved that show. I'm going to get to meet Jaleel White, who played Urkel, in a few weeks. So I'm very excited about that. The Munsters. Also, I was a Nick at Night kid growing up, so the Munsters was on a lot. Like, I saw different Nick at Night than Ferris saw, because they changed it up by then. Yeah. But the Munsters was on a lot. I could have put the Addams Family on this, but I love the Munsters. Just so much fun. My So-Called Life, it's only one season, and then the ABC canceled it, but it was teenage Adelia's shit, really, for that one season. Claire Danes, Jared Leto, before he went nutso. It's just really good. The West Wing. You and I have a love of the West Wing.
I love the West Wing.
Yeah.
Finish it. I love it.
You haven't finished it yet. I have finished it. I've rewatched it a couple times. It's just amazing. And Jessica Jones. That first season of Jessica Jones is my favorite season of television ever.
Jessica!
It's just so good. There's flaws with it for sure, but it's just so good. I love it so much.
Derek, you're right. You do have a mustache. You need to shave.
You do have a mustache, yes.
Yeah, you have a mustache. You look like a criminal, but you got a mustache. And you know what, Brandy? You're correct.
I was gonna say, is that news, Brandy? I don't think that's news.
That's not news. Not news whatsoever.
No.
Yeah, I actually like season 1 of Jessica Jones, West Wing. I watched. You know what other Aaron Sorkin show I really liked? Speaking of Aaron Sorkin,
which one?
Sports Night.
Sports Night was very good as well.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was. I think it was like the first time you see Josh Molina in a Sorkin vehicle.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And then you see him in The American President, where he wrote for Michael Douglas. Shout out to Michael Douglas, my guy.
The American President, great film. Love that movie.
Great film. But yeah, that's Family Matters. Loved Family Matters. I love finding out old tidbits of old shows, Adelia. Apparently, Urkel wasn't supposed to be on the show.
I mean, I can't imagine that show without Steve Urkel.
So he was supposed to have like a 2-episode arc type thing.
Oh, and he made such an impression they kept him around. I can see that.
Yes.
I can see that. That's what it is.
Because the show was about the family. Family Matters. It was about the family, and Urkel was their next door neighbor.
Yeah.
And then he kind of became the star of the show. I remember when he created the machine that made him Stefan Urkel.
Oh, so funny.
That was hilarious. And then my favorite episode was like when he would be like, he became Bruce Lee Urkel. You know what I mean? It's like, ah! And then one of my favorite episodes of Family Matters, Adelia, was when they were when Urkel found out his bully was dying, and instead of he helped do a blood drive for him, a bone marrow drive, I think.
Yeah.
And he found out he was the one positive, like it was him.
He was the match, yeah.
He was the match, and he's like, okay, do it. And then like he's in the bathroom, washing his hands, and the bully walks in, and he freaks out, cause bad memories. He's like, Urkel, I heard it was you. It's like, me what? You're the one who gave me the bone marrow, and it was just, it was beautiful, man. It was
beautiful, yeah.
Shout out to was it Waldo? Was it Waldo? No, Waldo.
Not Waldo. I don't know.
I don't know. Well, he was like, I'm gonna go see Malcolm 10. Malcolm 10. Yeah, Malcolm 10. You mean Malcolm X?
Malcolm X.
Yeah, Malcolm X is like, no, man, X means 10. No,
I don't remember all the character names on that except for Urkel's, but I did love the dad. I love Reginald Van Johnson or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Bell Johnson. So I loved that family so much, and there was wasn't there like the older sister that the other sister, I don't remember if she was the older sister, but one of the sisters that went upstairs in one of the episodes, and then we just never saw her again.
Yeah, it was the younger sister. Yeah,
the younger sister. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Child laws were like, we can't have her here. You know.
Yeah.
Eddie's friend. Yeah, Eddie's friend.
Eddie's friend, Waldo. Okay, I don't remember the character names. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen Family Matters, but it's great. Snark, you missed out on a great sitcom in the 90s, Family Matters.
Did that reach Canada?
I don't know, because Snark's never watched it.
Oh. Yeah, that's the other Canadian. Ryan.
I almost bought a few years ago, and I wish that I had this t-shirt that was at the store that had a picture of Urkel on the front of it, and it said original hipster, and I was like, that's perfect.
I would have bought it.
Yeah, but it was bright blue, and it's just not really my color.
I would have bought that shit.
Yeah.
It's mine. That's mine. You know, shirts like that, I get that. I bought a shirt that says Ferris's Day Off.
Nice.
And I wear it when it's my day off. And
when it's your day off, yeah.
Yeah, and like, don't bother me. I'm on my day off right now. Yeah, I like it. It's somewhere.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to your honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. Actually, to be quite honest with you, I have a lot.
I know you have a lot. I limited it to 5, and you gave me 6.
I would have given you like 8.
Yeah.
Or like 10. But yes.
Again, I limited it to 5, and you gave me 6.
Yeah. You should have replaced Game of Thrones with the other one. But I like Game of... Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
That was great.
That was a great one.
I saw a video clip earlier today where Tatiana Ali and Will Smith teamed up with Doechii to recreate that one dance that she was doing in her bedroom when she was listening to music, and then Will came in behind her and started copying the dance. It was very funny.
Yeah, so Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, we all know Will Smith, the first ever time Will Smith acted. Basically, his acting boot camp was like him, the greatest TV dad of all time, Uncle Phil. You know what I mean?
Uncle Phil was great.
Like, I also like, Hillary, basically, daddy's girl who got everything that she wanted. Then you have Ashley, the little one. And then you have Jeffrey, and then you have Jazz.
Jeffrey was great.
Jazz was there. It was just kind of an amazing show.
Of course, the Carlton and the Carlton dance.
Yeah. It was there. I'm pretty sure it was on Friday nights though. Oh, okay. Yeah. So like, Yeah,
it definitely would have been on Friday nights because it was TGIF programming.
Yeah. So Derek says it when he teaches her to act all crazy. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. He's like, yeah, where he's like act all crazy. Lose your shit. And then like they actually find out that they became best friends. And then that scene where Uncle Phil says, "Don't talk about my daughter." He's like, "I'll talk about your mama." Then Uncle Phil punches him in the face. You know what I mean? Because Uncle Phil, he was a buttoned up man. He was a lawyer. Then he became a judge. He was a very buttoned up man. But Uncle Phil was, he was from the streets. He's from the streets. I love the episodes when they kind of revealed what he was back in the day. When when one of their close friends visits them and they find out that Uncle Phil was he was protesting and he was in it, and he knew about it. When the sisters showed up for the wedding of their youngest sister, she's marrying a white dude, so it was kind of like contentious. So it was kind of like racially contentious there. So there was that, and then what was it?
There were so many great episodes of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
when Nixon showed up, when Reagan showed up, well, Nixon and Reagan showed up. Reagan, really.
Yeah, I loved the rivalry, I guess you could call it, between Will and Carlton.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. So many things. I loved Aunt Viv. Both the Aunt Vivs were great. Yeah, just great show.
The episode where Will gets shot, and then he finds out Carlton got a gun on him. Why you got a gun, man?
It was such a great show that they have now taken it and remixed it, if you will, in a reboot and made it dramatic. And Bel-Air I've not watched it, but I've heard it's very good.
Yeah, it's quite good. It's quite good. They ended, in the original scene, Hillary gets married to a weatherman, and he dies as he's bungee courting, as he's asking her, will he marry me? So the way they did in Bel-Air, the way they did it was okay, that's good. That's what I liked about Bel-Air is they took the original concept and they changed it up. The original was a comedy. It was a dramedy. It was a
sitcom.
Yeah, it was a sitcom. So most sitcoms are dramedies. And the reboot was straight drama. It was very serious.
Yeah.
It was a very serious show. Marlon Wayans plays Lou in the new one. And that scene is just heartbreaking, man. If I was an actor and I needed to cry for a scene, I'm gonna say put that scene on right now. I cry all the time, man. I also too the crazy things when he said when Lou has to leave, he'd been calling him Dad the entire episode, and then when he leaves, he says, "All right, Lou." He doesn't call him Dad. He says Lou, and then then that speech.
Yeah.
And then so let's keep going. It's too much. It's too much. It's too much. I love it. Let's do it. I'm sorry. I could have picked this for my childhood show. I could have picked this, but I picked another thing. The other thing, Futurama was one of the animated shows. It was adult animation. I shouldn't have been watching it as a kid. It was on reruns a lot. I watched it a lot on reruns, and then Hulu. When Hulu came out, it was on Hulu. And I watched it on there. I love it. It's about Fry. It's frozen for 3,000 years. And then he's in the future with aliens and all that stuff. It was pretty great. Danny Phantom. I watched it live with the Fairly Odd Parents. They were both on Nickelodeon. I think they're kind of back to back. Fairly Odd Parents had some great movies. It was I think it was Fairly Odd Parents. Press Play was pretty good, where Timmy went through all the major TV shows. It was pretty cool. Danny Phantom was he became a ghost and he had to tell people. It was a great show. Great theme song. I love it. Game of Thrones. I don't want the last season to completely erase what the first 5.5 or I'll even give it 6. The first 6 seasons basically. Because it went 7, right? 7?
8. I think.
8. Yeah, I'm not gonna let those last two seasons erase the first 6, because at one point,
we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that, when he's done with Game of Thrones.
Yeah, we'll go. At one point, it was the greatest TV show of all time. And that's what happens a lot when you don't stick the landing on TV shows.
Yeah,
you go from number 1 to no one really talks about Game of Thrones anymore. They kind of throw it away, and I'm not gonna throw it away because I don't do that with TV. You're talking to a dude who watched a lot of police procedurals, and a lot of those episodes are very
yeah.
So I'm not gonna throw it away. I'm not gonna throw the baby with the bathwater. I watched season 1, and then I wasn't allowed to watch season 2 through 4 because it was very violent and aggressive. A lot of stuff happened. And my brother watched it with one of our cousins, and my brother was like, "You're never watching this ever." So I never did it. So I actually listened to my brother. And then I grew up and stopped listening, and I started to watch everything. And I was like, "This show's amazing." You know what I mean? The Battle of Hard Home, the Battle of the Bastards, the Red Wedding. So I didn't get to see the Red Wedding as it unfolded, live. I watched it after, but funny enough, Adelia, all the Game of Thrones spoilers, I never got spoiled.
Yeah.
So I never knew nothing. So as I was watching it, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And they're like, Ferris, Red Wedding was like 3 years ago. You didn't know this? I was like, no. And then like when John got stabbed, I was like, oh my God, John got stabbed. And everyone was like, yes, Ferris, that's what's gonna happen in this upcoming season. I was like, this is amazing. You know? So I was kind of happy. And that's when they stopped, that's when they stopped having source material, which then all hell broke loose.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a great episode. It was a great TV show. But now let's end it off with Scrubs.
Before you get to Scrubs, I just want to say that the only thing I know about Fairly Odd Parents is that Chris Kirkpatrick from NSYNC voices two of the
shiny
characters.
teeth in me. Yeah. Chip
Skylark.
Yeah.
And Skip Sparky Pants.
Yeah.
Anyways, Scrubs.
It's one of my favorite comedies of all time. I'm watching a lot of comedies lately, and I'm watching Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, and like Ghosts on Paramount Plus. But Scrubs is the best. It's made by Bill Lawrence, guy who made Ted Lasso, guy who's made Shrinking. Makes sense. Those TV
Undateable. He did Undateable too, I think.
He also did Cougar Town, which makes sense why I like it. Shout out to the Cougars out there. So shout out to them. But that was also a great show. But Scrubs was one of the best shows. It's also one of the most gut-wrenching, heartwarming shows of all time. Everyone talks about the episode with Brendan Fraser. Where Brendan Fraser, you kind of sense that he died, but you don't know yet. Spoilers, I apologize. And then you finally realize it at the end where Cox is wearing a black suit. He's like, where the hell am I? And he looks at JD. He's like, where are we? He's like, where do you think we are? I was like, Red. I forgot his name. I forgot Brendan Fraser's name. Where he was like, we're at blah blah blah's funeral, and he was like, and it finally like hits him that his best friend died. He was his brother-in-law, was also his best friend, so he hit him. There's the episode where Laverne, the episode after Laverne dies, or before Laverne dies, and there's the episode where Laverne dies. Back-to-back episodes. Those two episodes were great because Cox is on his like daily rampage, and he's like, he always attacks someone like every day, and then today he finally chose Laverne, and he finally got her, and he like went after her for her belief and her faith and her religion. He's like, huh? You can't, you believe shit like this happens for a reason? You think this? And then she like, finally, she just kept just enduring him all episode. Then at the end, she was like, you know what? Enough. She's like, don't take this away from me. Don't take this away from me. I have to believe there is a reason for this happening. Because if I don't, then all the pain and suffering and death that we see every single day means nothing. You hear me, Perry? She like cusses out Cox. She cusses him out because a girl, like an 11-year-old, had just come into the hospital and she was stabbed. And everyone was like, yo, why is she stabbed? And then they sent her for an MRI and they find out she has a tumor. They found out, like, oh, she has a tumor. And she was like, happened for a reason. We wouldn't have found the tumor if she was never stabbed, and she would have been dead, And she like cusses out, and then Perry's like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, Laverne." And then he comes in the following, like at the end of the episode, he comes in the next day. He's like, Laverne was right, And he walks in all happy, and then they tell him Laverne got into a car accident coming into work today, and she's in a coma.
Oh man.
Yeah, and she's in a coma. And then the following episode was her ghost following everybody around. And then she dies in that episode. It was quite tragic. Those two episodes are pretty good. There's an episode where
Ferris.
Sorry.
I'm just gonna stop you here.
Because
we're on our honorable mentions and we're halfway through the show.
I know, right? That's how great some of these shows are. But first, but let's move on. Let's talk about our classic picks. Let's start off with you, Adelia. The show that created the band that created greatness. It is one other than Adelia's classic pick, the Monkees, Adelia? Break it down. I've never seen the Monkees, Adelia. I know about the band, the Monkees. I know they come from the show.
They do. They were created for the show.
They were created for the show.
They were musicians on their own, but they were created for the show.
Yeah.
The band was. And I knew the Monkees music because like I was obsessed with the radio station we had in Denver when I was growing up called Cool 105. It still exists, but it doesn't play music from the 50s, 60s, and 70s anymore. It plays music from the 80s and 90s, which just... that's not Cool 105 to me. Anyways, so Cool 105 played a bunch of music, so I knew the Monkees music, and then I found out the TV show thing, and they had this thing on Nick at Night one summer where there was a different TV show every weeknight, and they just play nothing but that TV show on a weeknight, and it was Monkey Monday that summer. So I was like, okay, I'll watch the Monkees. I sat there and I watched every episode of the Monkees. There was 2 seasons, and it's cheesy. It's, like comedies of that era. There's not a lot of drama going on. It's all slapstick stuff and stuff like that.
Even Batman was slapstick.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
But like, I loved every second of it. I loved the music. I loved the guys' personalities. I loved all of it, and it's my classic pick.
You
should
crazy?
Watch it.
You know what's crazy, Adelia?
What?
I have my own version of the Monkees.
What is it?
On Nick at Night.
What was it?
It was a band created for a show.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, was two. Actually, one was a boy band, one was a band. The first one was the Naked Brothers band. With the Wolf brothers, Alex Wolf and his other. Yeah, so it was. They created the Naked Brothers band. They made it. It was a movie and became a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So they created the group with the 2 brothers and their homies. And then Big Time Rush, boy band, was created for the show, then became a boy band.
Mm-hmm.
Boyfriend. I'll be a boy.
Yeah.
So
I remember Big Time Rush music.
So I have my own
Monkees.
Yeah.
Derek, the 2 seasons is 58 episodes. I looked it up before I came in here. The seasons were way longer back then than they are now.
Yeah. By the way, Brandy, I have done a Scrubs rewatch. I'm actually on the second to last season, which is actually the last season. We don't count that season where they're in med school. All right, that's all I gotta say. But the Monkees, Adelia, they're the I'm a believer.
I'm a believer.
Yeah.
Last Train to Clarksville.
Mm-hmm. Me and Magdalena.
No.
No. Okay.
They have a lot of music. The theme from the Monkees, which was the theme from the TV show, was "Hey Hey We're the Monkees." That song, that was a big one. But yeah, I love their music. I still listen to oldies music a lot. So
same, man. I was just listening to Teddy Pendergrass like last night.
Yeah,
love TKO. Barry White. Sometimes when I listen to a song, I'm like, I just put like on that song, and it just gets added to like my master playlist. And sometimes I just hit shuffle on that playlist, and it's like over 5,000 songs.
Mm-hmm.
It's great listening to that playlist deal where it's like you're listening to like some oldies music, and then like you're listening to like rap right afterwards. You're like, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Snark is asking if I liked the Monkees movie Head. I've never seen it. I've just seen the TV show. But I've heard it's very interesting.
Yeah. All right. Should we move on to mine?
To yours, yes.
If anybody knows me, if you have had a single conversation with Ferris Muthana, just one conversation, you would know what my favorite TV show is of all time. It's my classic pick. Shout out to my homies in the DMV. Especially in the Baltimore area. I'm talking to you, Hendo. I'm talking to you, Mike, Jose, Brodney. Well, Brodney, not really Brodney. He's out in the way. Shout out to the homie Quan, Brandon. Shout out to all the homies. It's The Wire. It's The Wire, man.
I just don't know that this is old enough to be considered a classic pick.
Well, you didn't find the definition of classic.
I mean, I did after the show last week, but
We did?
yeah.
But it's no longer on the air. So I thought that's what that meant. You know, like it's no longer on the air.
I said like pre-1980 would be a classic
Oh.
show. But go with it. It's your pick.
I've never seen any show pre-19. Like I've seen Happy Days.
That's pre-1980.
Yeah. I also thought Abbott Elementary is pretty good too. Oh, should I have said Abbott Elementary instead of the other one? But yeah.
You can talk about both.
Okay. Okay, now I'm kind of like, if you should I even talk about this now, because I didn't follow the
Talk about it. Talk about it. It's your pick.
All right, it's The Wire, guys. It's the police procedural of all police procedurals.
It's the show that Ferris has always tried to get me to watch, but I never will.
Yeah, I've kind of given up on that because now I know why she'll never watch it. Just for emotional and mental well-being, don't watch this show because there's a lot of gruesome murders. It's literally the procedural of all procedurals. It's about the Baltimore City, kind of like Baltimore region in a sense. It follows the cops, the drug dealers, and the government systems in Baltimore. Each season is kind of connected to the other season, and it's kind of like a big old puzzle, right? And first season, it starts off with a murder. Like the first minute, you get introduced to the main eyes of the show. His name is Jimmy McNulty, played by Dominic West. Some of you may know him as Prince Philip from The Crown. I don't know him as Prince Philip from The Crown. I know him as Jimmy McNulty, drunk, deadbeat, cop obsessed Jimmy McNulty, whose life he slowly ruins every single day of his life by his own doing. So great. It opens up, man, where he's talking about to this dude. Someone just got shot after they tried to rob a dice game. And his name was Snot. Snot always robbed the dice game, but this time someone shot him because of it. And then the famous line is like, if you knew Snot was always gonna rob the game, why'd you let Snot play? And then the young kid says, got to, man. It's America. Like, because money talks. If you got the money, you're gonna do it. McNulty realizes that there's a new drug kingpin on the scene because they start killing people, bodies start dropping, and McNulty says the famous line, Adelia, that I truly agree with. Drug dealers could sell drugs in America, right? If they didn't kill anybody, like if they didn't murder people, because they would turn a blind eye to it. People can't turn a blind eye to murder. And McNulty is trying to explain to people's like, y'all could have gotten away with this if y'all didn't kill people. You know what I mean? But guns started going off, people started getting shot. Each season there's an overall theme. Like season 1 is the entry into the drug game, kind of the ground level entry. Season 2, where they switch over to the docks. People got mad about the season because they're like, oh, what the hell going on? But you need to be taught how the drugs get into the city. This is how the drugs get into the city. Season 3, you kind of see the government aspect of it, and then you kind of see in season 2 also with how the union is fighting back. Season 3, you have some government aspect, and then season 4, you see the effects on the school systems and the destruction of that. And they kind of like follow a group of kids. One of them being there's Michael, Randy, Nameen, and then I forgot Young Buck's name. Who became
It's okay, Ferris. You don't have to say everybody's name.
All right. And then season 5, you see the power of the media, especially the newspapers back then, because they latched on a story, and they told everyone this is a story you need to care about, and then you start seeing how the police, how they always for 4 seasons the police kept saying we don't got money and we're always broke, right? But they're lying. And then season 5, they magically free up money to go after some serial killer because they needed people to like make sure people are safe. The memes, Adelia, the famous Weebay meme of him like, that scene is when he realizes that he shot a cop. It's pretty funny, you know. So it was pretty cool, and it's a great show. You're never gonna watch it.
No.
My homies, I always say y'all should watch it. It's deep because here's the thing, Adelia. Every episode connects to the episode.
Mm-hmm.
It connects. One episode is they're all at like dinner,
mm-hmm.
and they're on pagers, and then one night, pagers are flying. Like, yo, pagers are flying. It was Michael B. Jordan's character calling Idris Elba's character, talking about, we just found the guy who robbed us, and then he calls somebody to say meet him up, and then they meet up with the guy who robbed him. They arrest him, they kill him. They find out that was Omar's lover. By the way, Omar, one of the baddest men on TV ever,
mm-hmm.
you know, was a homosexual, which kind of added great detailed lengths to him, and you know how masculinity is shown on TV and who's masculine and who's not. Because I know for a fact you're not gonna call Omar the F slur, because that'll be the last thing you say.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it shows that, and then it shows just local government corruption and bagmen and you know all that shit. It's great. But Adelia, let's keep it moving. Your childhood pick is none other than the great show based in one of the greatest cities in America, San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
It's Full House.
This was my show as a kid.
Yes.
Like, Full House is amazing. We had Bob Saget playing Danny Tanner, who's got these 3 kids. He's just been widowed, and he gets his brother-in-law, Jesse, and his best friend, Joey, to move in to help take care of the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And chaos ensues, and it's great.
And hijinks.
Hijinks. We had DJ, we had Stephanie, and we had Michelle. We had DJ's best friend, Kimmy, who is one of my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great dysfunctional family show that wasn't like seriously drama. There was lots of comedy, but you still got that they loved each other, even though at times it was very dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
Then you bring in Becky, who becomes Aunt Becky when she marries Jesse. And then Becky and Jesse are one of my favorite TV couples of all time. Just their couples goals.
Mm-hmm.
If I had couples goals, which I don't, but they would be couples goals. They have twin boys. I've never watched the
Fuller House.
Fuller House. I've never watched it. So I can't comment on the sequel series. It ran for like 5 seasons, so somebody liked it. But this was Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen as Michelle. Candace Cameron was DJ. Dave Coulier. Huh?
Candace Cameron Bure.
But she wasn't Candace Cameron Bure when she was doing this.
Oh, okay,
She
my
was
bad.
Candace Cameron. Because she was a kid. We had Jodie Sweetin as Stephanie. We had Dave Coulier as Joey. John Stamos, of course. John Stamos, of course, is Uncle Jesse. I just loved all of this. Like, we had romance for Danny, the dad, in here that didn't work out, and how that affected the kids and all of that. It was just so great. I loved it. They drove the car into the kitchen, didn't they? G Weezy says.
And
I mean, I believe so.
Maybe. It happens a lot in sitcoms. Someone drives something into something. It happened in George Lopez.
I don't remember every episode. I remember like weird things, like Becky was from Nebraska, and just stuff like that. It was a lot of fun, and that was my childhood. Was sitting in front of the TV on a Friday night watching TGIF, Step by Step, Family Matters, and whatever else was in TGIF at that moment.
Yeah. His job was like the local news anchor, right?
He was the co-host of the morning show Wake Up San Francisco. And he gets teamed with Becky, and that's how Becky meets Jesse.
Yeah. I mean, I wish that was a real thing.
Wake Up San Francisco?
Yeah. I could be the host of that. Wake Up San Francisco. How you doing? How you living? My name is... Okay, sorry, my bad. This is my dream. My favorite thing about the show is, Adelia, is every time I watch Bob Saget, and you're like, oh, look at this amazing man playing this great father.
Oh, his comedy routines were so different. So different.
He was some of the
He was filthy as a
Yeah.
comedian.
He was, man. Shout out to Bob Saget, man. God rest your soul, Bob. God
Yeah.
rest your soul. And you know what? Shout out to Dave Coulier. The inspiration to one of the greatest diss songs of all time, I guess.
Oh, you ought to know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Coulier out here breaking hearts.
Yeah.
Shout out to Alanis Morissette. Well, not shout out to you. I'm sorry that it happened to you. But
Yeah.
thank you for writing it.
We sort of had a situation in this show too, like the Urkel situation, where Lori Loughlin was hired for 6 episodes to be Becky, and then she's in the rest of the show.
Exactly.
Like,
That happens all the time.
she was great in the show. Andrea Barber played Kimmy Gibbler, the best friend, DJ's best friend, and Kimmy's amazing. Just the weirdest fashion sense and funniest Andrea Barber has great comedic timing. Just a lot of fun, that show is.
Yeah.
And I love watching reruns of it.
Yeah, it's great. I watched it on Nick at Night, like during their reruns. Like it'd be like Mondays would be like Family Matters, Full House, and the other days would just be All Friends.
Yeah.
I just did there like, I don't care that these people have to pivot a couch. I found the scene funny, but like, can I have something else? So I would have to watch Friends to end up watching George Lopez, which I would be like, hey, it's George. You know,
Yeah.
I got this. Sorry. But now we keep moving on. My childhood pick, probably my second favorite show of all time. A show that I should have been watching as a kid, unlike The Wire and Futurama. It's like, yo, what is this 11-year-old watching The Wire for? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Avatar.
Before you get into that, I just want to bring up Brandy's comment.
This one?
Yes, Ferris is an old man with his Werthers, she means, but his classics are when he was like 5 in the 2000s.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Speaking of the 2000 show, Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's an animated show. It was on Nickelodeon. The show that created Disney Animation. Well, no, not Disney Animation. Sorry, that makes no sense. Star Wars Animation.
Star Wars Animation.
Because season 1, one of their main animators and producers and story writers was Dave Filoni. And George Lucas fell in love with the show, decided to hire Dave Filoni, saying like, hey man, you want to run Star Wars Animation? And he's like, that doesn't exist. He's like, yes, it does. You're running it. But yeah, Avatar: The Last Airbender, one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Great, like there's a lot of filler episodes, but they're great filler episodes, and it makes sense. Shout out to Zachary Tyler Elson and Dante Bosco, who play Zuko and Aang, who are basically the main characters of the episode of the show. Aang is the Avatar. He found out he was the Avatar, and he ran away because he was scared of, because he was a child. People forget how young he was. I think he was like 11 or 10. And and they found the Avatar. They found him very early on as like, he's the Avatar, and we need to train him up because Fire Lord is coming to take over the world. The Fire Lord are like, you could say, like, I don't know what their equivalent is. I don't say Nazis, but kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. But yeah, so Aang scared, and he like leaves. It's like gone, and he gets frozen in time. Like it's a giant storm, and him and his flying bison, played by D. Bradley Baker, by the way, his bison. They get frozen in time in the storm, and siblings Sokka and Katara, played by Mae Whitman, find him when they're out there fishing for their village, and they come across this frozen Yeah, the Fire Army is more like the British Empire. Yeah, the British Empire. Yeah. It wasn't not yeah.
Don't
And
say
they
that word again, because I'll start.
Yeah. My bad. It's not the other people I just said. They find this giant like frozen circle and they crack it open. Kasaka cracks it open, and inside this frozen circle is this bald-headed kid with an arrow on his head and a flying bison. And we're like, yo, what? He's actually the last airbender. He's the Avatar, the last airbender. He's the last of them. He's it. Because we end up finding out throughout the entire season, you know, someone finds out when the Avatar is going to be an airbender. So the Fire Nation slaughters all the airbenders, and he had already flew away. And you know, it's great. I don't know how to explain it. It's just this great show.
Yeah.
It's a tale of triumph and adversity and resurrection and redemption. And what's funny too, Adelia, he's not even the best character in the show, and he's a great character. And the best character in the show is Zuko, played by Dante Bosco. You see the evolution from this kid just pent up anger and destruction, and he lost his honor. He's scarred for life. His father scarred him for life because he decided to speak up in a military meeting, and he then was like, it's called this Agni Kai, which is like a duel. And it's like, so Zuko was about 12, I think 12, 14 in his teens, like Aang. Not like Aang. No, like Aang, but Aang is like technically older because he's frozen. So he's in his teens, and he's like, I agree with the Agni Kai, and he's ready to fight the Agni Kai, and the person who he's fighting is his father. And his father's like, you brought me great shame. I'm gonna teach you a lesson, and then he scars him for life. He burns his eye, and it's just like bad parenting. Because you know, his mom disappears. One of the greatest characters of all time, Uncle Iroh, is also he's a disgraced general because his son died in the war. So basically his heart, his soul, his everything was killed, and his life went into shambles. You know, using him as the Dragon of the West, because he would like he destroyed enclaves and enclaves of resistors. You see how him and Zuko evolve, and you see redemption. That's why I believe in people can change. You know, I'm a kid watching this happen. I never thought at the end of this show that I'm gonna be rooting for these two dudes. The way the animation is timeless, Adelia. The way they do battles are amazing. The music. Oh my God. The last 4 episodes.
I've seen a few episodes of the first season of this.
Watch it from the beginning, Adelia. Trust me.
I have a really hard time getting past how kiddish Ong is. Aang, whatever his name is.
Aang. It's not like the movie.
Yeah.
It's not like the movie. All right.
Not like the movie.
You know when people, when those annoying Star Wars fans say, "This ruined my childhood."
That movie did for a lot of people. Yeah.
I was a kid when I watched it. It literally ruined my childhood. And you know what? I've not forgiven M. Night Shyamalan for that. You know what I mean? So it's great. And when they introduce new characters, you're like, oh, is this character gonna fit? And like, they always fit. And it always made sense. And it was always awesome. Like Toph Beifong, when they introduced Azula in May and Ling, I'm like, it just fit. You know, I know you're not gonna watch The Wire, which is okay, but you gotta watch this.
I'll give this another chance. I have the complete series on Blu-ray. I just can't get through it, but I'll give it another chance.
I also own the complete series on Blu-ray. I also own Miami Vice on Blu-ray as well.
I think I have Legend of Korra on Blu-ray too, which is the sequel series.
Yeah. Jason Isaacs is in it, and he plays like Admiral Zhao, and Zhao is like one of the worst people known to man, and he's great. He's great.
No, I definitely will give it a chance. I just struggle with animation, and I struggle with stuff that seems like it's meant for someone 40 years younger than me. So I will give it a chance, though. Yeah.
One of my favorite things is finding out that Robert Patrick plays a character in the show, and I'm like, wait, who does he play? And he plays one of the masters. It was pretty great.
Okay.
It's pretty great. All right, now let's keep moving, Adelia. You know,
Keep
we
moving.
are, we're at an hour, but we're gonna keep it moving. We're just flowing.
Brandy's childhood pick is Punky Brewster. Punky
Yes.
Brewster's amazing, and we're gonna get to meet Soleil Moon Frye in a couple weeks. So
Tell us what's up.
I will.
All right, and now Adelia, now we're in the current what we're watching right now.
Mhm.
A TV show that we are loving right now is
Yeah.
none other than, if you know Adelia, if you have spoken one conversation with Adelia, you would know this is it. Adelia, what is it?
The Rings of Power, obviously, is my favorite thing on television. I mean, it's a streaming series, but it's television. Right now, I am a huge Tolkien nerd. I've read the books. I watched the extended editions of the trilogy once a month. I'll just pick a weekend and watch them. I'll watch the Hobbit movies on the Saturday sometimes, and I'll watch the Lord of the Rings movies on a Sunday. I'll watch them straight through. Like, I don't care about how long they are or anything like that. Rings of Power is interesting because it covers a different age of Middle-earth than the Lord of the Rings trilogy does. This is thousands of years before the Lord of the Rings trilogy. You have some of the same characters, though, because, there's elves that are immortal. So we've got Galadriel, we've got Elrond, we've got characters like that, but in a much younger state than they were in the movies. We have a lot of stuff going on here that is just very interesting to me. The Siege of Eregion in season 2 was fantastic. A lot of people fell off after the first season and didn't come back for the second season. The second season is so much better than the first season. They fixed a lot of the problems that I think the first season had with like pacing and writing. And they didn't make Galadriel the focus the way that Galadriel was the focus of the first season. And the second season's fantastic. The Charlie Vickers is the name of the actor who plays Sauron in this season, in this series. He's incredible. Our friend French Taunter watched this series with us. We did post-credits episodes for it. You can find those on the channel now. He described the look in Charlie Vickers' eyes once as merciless and eternal, and it's perfect description. Like,
wow.
He plays Sauron so conniving and manipulative and perfect, and Celebrimbor, the elf that he's manipulating to make these rings of power in season 2, just shout out to the actor who plays him. I don't remember his name, but he did a fantastic job. And I think that this deserves all the praise it gets from critics, and I wish more people would give it a chance. We're going to be getting a season 3. It's in development now, and lots of stuff going on. There's the stuff going on Numenor. It's all being pulled from primarily the appendices of Lord of the Rings books and the Silmarillion, which is a really difficult book to read. I do not recommend attempting to read the Silmarillion unless you're really immersed in Tolkien lore. It's very difficult language to get through. But it's based on Tolkien's history of Middle-earth, thousands of years before The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. And like we had Gandalf show up. Like I said, Galadriel, Elrond. There's other characters in here that are new characters created for this show that I've really enjoyed. Like Theo and Arondir have a very interesting relationship that's sort of like father-son, but not really. We get a young Isildur, who's eventually the guy that's going to keep the ring and not destroy it, and therefore set off all the events of Lord of the Rings. Like, it's really good, and I wish more people would give it a chance.
You know what? I may give it a chance.
You should. It's good.
You know? How about this Adelia?
Our friend Video Drew finds the Rings of Power easier to get through than the movies. So I think this is a good entry point to Middle-earth. They spend a lot of time in season 1 sort of like laying the like landscape, the lay of the land, and out for people, and I think they do a good job, but it affects the pacing of season 1. Like, it's pretty slow at times in season 1, but you're learning lots of information that when you get to season 2's really like important. So I think that you should give it a chance.
What did I have a plan?
What?
By the way, guys, you guys have a child like Brandy did. She showed us the Punky Brewster, her childhood pick. If you have a classic pick, a childhood pick, drop them in the chat so we can discuss them as well. How about this, Adelia?
What?
I watched Lord of the Rings: Ring of Power.
Okay.
Avatar.
Okay.
And we'll debrief every week.
I can do that.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys. Now my current pick. I picked the show that I watched really recently. That because I'm really into this show. I really am. It's really good. And if you know anything about me, you probably know it's probably a cop show or a medical drama. It is none other than The Pit on HBO Max. It's every Thursday at 6:00. I think West
Pacific.
Eastern. Yeah, Pacific. It's about the trauma center in Pittsburgh. That's why it's called The Pit, because they call it The Pit as in like kind of like an affectionate way, but also like it's never ending. There's always someone hurt. Someone's always happening. And the way they set the show, I don't know if I've explained it on this show. Have I?
No, I don't think so.
The show, each episode, it's an hour every single day of a shift. So we're up to, I believe now, 5:00 in the afternoon. So we've gone through, I think it started at 8 or 7 a.m. and we're down.
Yeah, I think it's a 15-hour shift. There's 15 episodes in the season.
Yeah.
So
The star of the show is Dr. Robbie, or Dr. Rabinovich, none other than played by the man who holds the longest ever episodic reign as a doctor in TV history, ER's own Noah Wiley. Shout out to Noah Wiley. I don't know a lot of these actors, but every time I kept watching the show, I was like, I recognize this dude. Why do I know this dude? And then Adelia pointed out that it was Noah Wiley. And I was like, that's how Noah Wiley looks now? Shout out to Noah Wiley. I did watch ER growing up. I want to rewatch it.
Fiona Dourif's in this.
Yes, I believe.
Her father, Brad Dourif, plays Grim Wormtongue in The Lord of the Rings. He's also like involved in the Chucky franchise.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so
I think he's the voice of Chucky in the movies.
Oh yeah, Dr. McKay. Yeah, that's I don't know who Fiona Dourif was. So yeah, I do recognize a couple people like, Drew Powell plays this. I recognized him. He plays this patient named Doug Driscoll. In one of the episodes, he punches the lead nurse in the face. She's taking a break outside after he just threw a kind of like a kind of justified, kind of unjustified temper tantrum because we're at a trauma center, and he has something going on with his chest and his heart, and they're following protocol. Like every 2 to 3 hours, they keep checking on him, see if his condition worsens, and his condition isn't really worsening. But he feels like he keeps getting passed over, but he only keeps getting passed over for people who have immediate horrible traumas. Like a kid had his eye almost bust out of socket because he got hit in the face with a baseball bat. A fight breaks out in the waiting room and someone punches someone in the face, and people don't want to get like rabies or sepsis. Someone had their arm broken in half, and it's just like it's kind of very severe. But
Taylor Dearden's in this too.
Who's that?
Bryan Cranston's daughter.
I don't know who that is.
She's Mel.
Oh, Dr. King. I love Dr. King. You could say that she's a little socially awkward. Possibly on the spectrum. Possibly, I don't know. But she's a little. She's trying to make friends, and a little, a little awkward and all that stuff. Two of the nurses are Filipino, and they're always talking Tagalog to each other. It's pretty funny. One of them is Muslim, I think. I'm assuming she's wearing a hijab. I don't know. I may be wrong. But it's really cool seeing that. The way they show it's every week, and so it's a day. So every episode there are callbacks to the previous episode. Like they had a kid die on the show of a fentanyl overdose, and he's brain dead, and he's an organ donor, so the organ, donor people had to like kind of like, like ask the family, can they go with it? And the social worker had to be with there. It was pretty gut wrenching. There's a moment where the girl did the drugs with that they bought. She didn't know he died, and she like cusses out his dad, saying like, "Oh, it's your son who sold me the shitty ass, because they were studying all night and they thought they were just taking like an upper, like they're to stay up all night, but it was laced, and he dies, but they catch it in time and she survives, and she like cusses his father out, talking about how your son's the piece of shit, and he's like, well, I can't tell him, my son's dead, and she's like, and like it completely shatters her world. That's a great show. It's a great show.
It sounds like it's a medical drama with a slightly different take on it, with it being you're seeing one day, like ER and all the other ones you see multiple days, sometimes even within the hour show you're watching. So this is an interesting take, that this is just what these people go through in one day. So I won't watch it because me, but it sounds interesting for sure.
Great.
Brandy, I almost picked Happy's Place for my current pick, but I had to go Lord of the Rings because it's me. It's my brand at this point. So
Reba. I remember watching Reba growing up, the TV show.
We've had a couple of guest stars from Reba on Happy's Place.
Makes sense. Yeah. But yeah, like there's a guy named, I think it's like Gerald Howell. He plays this dude named Whitaker, and Whitaker's like unintentionally funny. He's not trying to be funny, but he's like hilarious.
He's unintentionally funny.
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's hilarious. Like there was once where there's a guy who he needed to be put on psych meds, and they called him the Kraken, because his name was like, I think it's like Stan Krakowitz or something like that, or like, and they're holding him down, and the Kraken is like, "Rah!" Like literally, like he's freaking out. He needs his drugs. And he needed, like, so Whitaker has his drugs. And he's like, you need to stab him right there, right in the inner thigh. He's like, I got it. And then he's like trying to go in, and the Kraken starts pissing on him. and then Whitaker's like, oh God, no! Ah! So and they're like, Whitaker, do it! And he's like, ah! And he like jumps in and like kind of like stabs him, and then like the Kraken's like falls asleep. But like at one point, I think Whitaker's mouth was open. It was kind of gross. It was really funny.
Yeah, that's gross. But like that's the kind of shit that people go through in trauma centers. Like,
yeah. Hey, who's Fiona Dourif?
Brad Dourif's daughter.
Brad Dourif
is the voice of Chucky in the Chucky movies.
Oh.
He also plays Grima Wormtongue in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, that's when you meant when he's in the Chucky franchise.
Yes. He's Chucky.
Oh wow. Well, she's in Chucky.
She's in Chucky too, yes.
Taylor Dearden is Bryan Cranston's daughter. She uses her mom's last name for her career. Probably because she doesn't want to, be a Nepo baby, which I appreciate. Well, they act like they're not going to know. I love when they do that. It's like, we didn't know. It's like when Scott Eastwood was like, I'm not going to use their last name Eastwood. It's like, we all know you're his son, dog.
Yeah.
Scott, I know your father. Stop calling yourself Scott James. Like, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
It's not going to work. But, yeah. Like, that's cool that they have those.
It's a pretty great show, actually. It's a pretty great show.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the show, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for.
We need to talk about one more thing before we end the show.
Hit me.
Thursday, you were supposed to be on a show that I very specifically said I did not want to be on.
You gonna keep shaming me?
I have to talk about it on this episode. I'm sorry.
Hit me.
And you didn't show up.
I didn't.
So I had to be on it.
I'm so sorry.
Would you like to explain further?
Yeah. So it was It was every Thursday on this channel, guys. It's Rewatchers Council at 3 o'clock, pre-recorded or live. This episode, it was called Earshot. It was kind of in the vein of Columbine.
It got postponed from its original air date because it was supposed to air a week after Columbine happened.
Yes.
I grew up in Denver, about 20 minutes away from where Columbine is, and I was deeply traumatized by that event because it happened while I was in high school.
Yes.
I was 17 years old at the time.
Yes.
So I didn't want to watch that episode. I've never watched that episode. I'm never going to watch that episode.
Yes. And Adelia told me all of this. And I said to Adelia, you know what, Adelia? You don't gotta worry. I got you.
Mm-hmm. I reminded him several times.
Yes, she did. And then day of, you said, are you still good? I was like, yes, I'm good. No excuse. I decided to take a nap before the show.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I do that. And then my alarm went off, and I was like, okay, I got about 30 minutes. And I was like, 30 minutes. I set my alarm for 2:30. 2:30.
2:30 for the 3 o'clock show.
2:30 for the 3 o'clock show, because all I need is 30 minutes to get ready, and I'm good. I was like, oh, it's 2:30. I was like, I got a little bit more time. I hit the snooze. Went back to sleep. Alarm snoozed up again, like, dar, 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 dar. I was like, oh, shit. And I woke up again. I was like, oh, I'm good. It's good. We're still good. You're still good. Hit the snooze and woke up. Like, all right, it's time to go do the show. Check the time. It's at 3:40. And I jump out of bed because I saw a text message. I knew who texted me right away. I knew it. I get the text message, and all I see is like, where are you? I am not happy. And I said, shit. I don't respond to the text message because what can you say? So I jump on, didn't wash my face, grabbed my glasses, jumped in the chair. I was like, snap, are they still live? Are they still live? So showed me that they're still live. So I decided to hop in the studio. I replaced Adelia, by the way, because we were on the same profile.
Yeah, kicked me out of the stream.
Kicked her out. Because I was like, no more torture, but I've already tortured her enough. And yeah, I'm a disappointment, and I am a massive piece of shit.
You're not a massive piece of shit, but I just had to bring it up.
Yeah, no more naps before the shows.
No more naps before the shows, or maybe take the nap right after you finish your shift.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well. I can't blame nobody. Could blame college basketball, but no. Not good. Not good. No. Yeah.
All right. Now we can end the show.
All right. Public humiliation. Is that what we're doing now? Is that what this channel does?
I'm sorry, Ferris. We had to have a conversation. We were going to have that happen on Thursday and not bring it up. Sorry. That's a very traumatic event from my childhood that I don't like talking about. And I talked about it on Thursday. You can find that episode of the Rewatchers Council on the channel now.
Great episode.
But yeah, that was a hard one for me.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you guys so much for joining us. Mr. No Naps up in here. No more naps. My name is Ferris Muthana. You can find me at Ferris Muthana on all the platforms. Well, not on all the platforms, just Twitter and _Ferris_Muthana on Instagram, I guess.
And ferrismuthana.bsky.social on Blue Sky.
That one too.
Yeah, he made it to this show at least. He was not late.
Well, this show's at 6 o'clock, so even if I would have slept, I still would have made it. But yeah, we should make all our shows at 6 o'clock, Adelia. All of them. Every single one of them.
I mean, we can't do that.
Oh, that's a good point. People's schedules. But thank you guys for joining us. You can find me here every Sunday, 6 o'clock. Open table. Every Thursday. Yes, I do show up on that show on Thursdays. Sometimes. More often than not. Rewatchers Council. We're doing the Buffy rewatching series. We're adding Angel to the rewatching series.
As we revealed in our newsletter today.
Yes. We're also adding another rewatching series
for the MCU. Revealed that in the newsletter today too. You can sign up for our newsletter at letsgetreadynetwork.com/newsletter.
It's in
that every Sunday.
It's in the description, guys, as well as also the link to our Discord. Discord's free to the public. We're trying to create a community. Come in. Let's talk movies, TV shows. What were your TV shows growing up, and what you're currently watching? We have a TV talk channel. But on that note, Adelia, where can people find you?
You can find me on this channel on Thursdays doing the Rewatchers Council. You can find me over on the Sports channel Tuesdays, 5 p.m. Pacific. Me and Snark doing Starting 11, our English Premier League recap show. We've got an episode this week, and then we've got a week off because for some reason there are no more Premier League games after this weekend until April 1st. So that's
international break.
It's not an international break.
So what? When America doesn't America play CONCACAF Champion Nations League in the 22nd?
Well, there's like an international break, and then there's also FA Cup games. It's weird. And so you can find me there. You can also find me on this show with Ferris next Sunday, 6 p.m. Pacific. I don't know what we'll be talking about yet. Ferris and I have yet to decide what next week's subject will be. Not naps.
Yay or nay?
No. But we'll be back next week, and then we'll have a week off because I'm going to Massachusetts and going with a good friend Brandy to 90s Con. It'll be fun. Also, this coming Friday, or maybe Saturday, depends on what time it is we actually get it filmed, Brandy and I will be doing a post-credits for the season finale of Happy's Place. That's a show that Brandy and I have been watching and really loving, so check that out. And we'll have a Daredevil Born Again post-credits on the channel on Tuesday night after we get episode 4 watched. So, there's that.
Yep. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I was just gonna add that links to both those channels are in the description of this episode. Please like this video and subscribe to both channels. And you will see on both channels we have a stream set for April 5th, Saturday, April 5th, 5 p.m. Pacific, the 5th anniversary stream for LGRN. We're gonna party and have some fun and celebrate hitting 1,000 subscribers on this channel, but overall the 5-year anniversary of the network. And reminisce and hang out and have a good time. So check it out. Hi, Bador! Bador's in the chat. What's up, Bador? Bador. Wonderful, Bador. Wonderful. The amazing Bador.
Love Bador.
Bador is amazing. Bador is amazing. We're happy to see you have leveled up in life.
Yeah, very happy for you, Bador.
Yes. I don't know how much information you wanna put out there.
I don't think we need to say anymore, but Bador's doing great things, and I'm very happy for her. It has been 5 years of LGRN, Bador. Yes. Can you believe it? It's
been 5 years.
I've been putting up with Ferris for 5 years.
All right, let's calm it down here. You're acting like I don't gotta put up with you as well.
I didn't say that. Okay. I didn't say you didn't, but okay. I am still mad at you. So.
For Thursday?
It's gonna be for Thursday. Like that's gonna take a while to get over. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, you're right. I expect that. Yeah. I'm so sorry. What do you apologize to her for?
Ferris is the one who needs to apologize, and he has done. I just haven't. I just haven't forgiven him yet. That's all.
Yeah, it's fine. I've done it like 4 times.
I know.
Every single day for the past 4 days. See, it's all out there. So good for her.
It's all out there. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us.
Yeah, Dee-Weezy was actually invited to join us on this anniversary stream because I didn't leave it up to Ferris this time.
I forgot. And you know what? It happens. I'm sorry. By the way, DZ, when we were doing that stream, by the way, you just got here. Okay? You know?
Bador says it's been years since I've been on the show and I'm still mad at Ferris.
I probably did something. I just don't know what I did. I probably did something.
We're very happy for Bador. She's gotten married. She's gonna be a mommy. I'm very happy for her.
All right. By the way, you just got here, D-Weezy. Now now the connection is formed.
I mean, D-Weezy's been on betting the NFL for a while now.
Yeah, I know, but when we first did the anniversary stream, he had just got there.
I'm pretty sure we'd been doing betting in the NFL for a bit before that.
You're probably right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you guys, we did do the Mikey Newman interview. We just did a Mikey Newman interview over on Passion Fruit, where I work. That was really cool. Check out Passion Fruit's YouTube channel if you don't mind. YouTube.com/passionfruit creators @passionfruit creators. I do a lot of work. I'm the producer of the Deep Linkers and Reactivist podcast, so check it out.
Yep. On that note, we got so much for joining us. Peace.